in B-Mark?
The first image that I have in my mind, I was very young, I was probably 7 years old, something like that, was a black and white image of a Charlie Chaplin film. My father was a projectionist in Lux Film, one of the major companies in Italy. And my father was responsible for all the screening. So I remember one evening he came back home with a little machine. And when it was dark, I remember that we put our little chair in front of this little machine. And suddenly I heard what the machine was going. It appeared an image of us. It was a black and white image of Charlie Chaplin. I was enchanted by these moving images. And without any doubt, at one moment, my father was asking me to finish the elementary school to go into an institute of photography. In my opinion, he was trying to materialize his own dream. Screening so many films, probably was enchanted, he was dreaming, he was desired to be part of the film creation. Because the fact that he couldn't do it, he practically pushed me to become somebody that can realize his own dream. The first movie that I did was in black and white. And honestly, at that time, I was so ignorant in color that I was not even thinking in color. I was thinking in relationship between light and shadows. That was my feeling. Till one day, that with my youngest wife, still my wife today, Antonia, we went to a film theater up to, I remember Via Veneto, there was a film theater over there, and we soon gone with the wind. For the first time, I was mesmerized by this incredible film that was running for a century story almost. And at that time, in 1939, with a so sensitive film, with a huge camera of Technicolor to stripped, Ernest Haller was able to do such cinematography that was unbelievable. I saw that at that time, in 1960 mainly, you cannot do film in color if it's drama. You can do in comedy, you can do in western, you can do in a musical, but the dramatic picture needs black and white. And they said, this is not true. I mean, look at the film they did. Ernest Haller is fantastic, and he really was able to, the sensitivity of the film was 25 ASA at that time, if I remember well. So can you compare the scale of lighting constantly at the time? It was wonderful. It was in Technicolor. Step by step that I went into cinematography, Bernardo Bertolucci, the first thing I did with him was Spy the Stratagem. A few years before, I had an experience in Technicolor Rome. We did a movie in Spain. Cinematographer was Paco Sanchez, Francisco Sanchez, wonderful gentleman, wonderful gentleman. Francisco asked me, Vittorio, please, I'm busy to do another film. Do you mind, you are in Rome, I'm in Madrid. Do you mind to follow for me the printing, the answer print? And I said, of course, I will do all my best. You know, I never done in color, but I will. To go into Technicolor at that time for a young cameraman, not cinematographer, cameraman, you know, it gives you the incredible feeling that you enter in a kind of temple of cinema, in the temple of color. They addressed to me Mr. Novelli, Ernesto Novelli, as a color supervisor to follow this film that was done from Mr. Sanchez. I will stay with him, but he screened the film. I said, "Oh, Vittorio, what do you think?" So I mentioned something, and he said, okay, you might to come back in today. I say, no, Ernesto, I would like to be next to you. I would like to learn the process. Because otherwise I never know. If we say, okay, a little bit more warm, then maybe you put 2 reds, and maybe 2 reds are not enough. I would like to know, I would like to learn. I said, okay, kid, let's go. We go into a small screening room, which was the lighting process, and I had a wonderful moment with him, really learning the process while he's doing correction. Ernesto Novelli was, for me, was my idol. From that moment, I worked with Novelli for 30 years. When we did Last Tango in Paris, we were supposed to film everything in Paris. At that moment, they asked me if we can use also the laboratory in Paris, which is not Technicolor. They of course give it to us a great discount for the studio. So I think we should go to the studio. He says, okay, let me tell Bernardo they should look for another cinematographer. What do you mean? It means that I feel uncomfortable to start to look for another laboratory that is not Technicolor, and is not Ernesto Novelli. Allora they speak with Bernardo, and I says, don't touch Vittorio. And we did the film in Technicolor. And that's happened through entire my life. Even Apocalypse Now, one of the co-producers asked me, Vittorio, Francis is a little nervous because we blow up stuff and we don't see dailies till 2 weeks to send the dailies in Rome and come back. We have an airplane each day for Los Angeles, so we can see the day after the dailies. And I said, well, I know enough, my experience that I had already with Ernesto Novelli in Rome. I cannot do in laboratory that I don't know, nobody know me in Los Angeles. So how they can know what they can do? Yes, but the production. And I say, I'm sorry, but from Monday on, I will be not anymore the cinematographer or Apocalypse Now. And I was serious, very serious. And Francis said, no, Vittorio has all my confidence, so I will be patient, don't worry. Not only that, but I mentioned to Francis, only to Francis, we flashes the negative. In Apocalypse Now in 1976, a Technicolor Rome was ready to take these chances. We were filming in the Philippines, 28 hours to come back in Rome, going to the lab, receiving the flash, and going to the developing. If something was going wrong, we destroyed really the film. I mentioned only to Francis Coppola those kind of things. Nobody else knew. Today, no one producer will take this chance. I have to be very honest. In my memory, in what I'm thinking now and what I will think in the future, the trademark of Technicolor was so, it's like a stamp in my mind about the meaning of color, since ever. Originally, when I really start the profession to be a cinematographer, there was no any discussion which kind of laboratory you want to use. If you want to use really some specific color view, have to be Technicolor. That's what was Technicolor for me. I cannot live without Technicolor. I cannot do it. I did 59 movies till now. 57 are Technicolor.
On behalf of Technicolor, thank you for taking the time to do this.
It's not only my pleasure, it's my duty. It's like my father could ask me something for himself, and I could never say no, because that represents, my major point in creativity, Technicolor, no doubt. Like my father was with my family.